All right, I'd like to call a special Board of Education meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kelly, roll call, please.
Flynn? Present. Stewart? Here. Mrs. Thompson? Here. Mr. Rutkowski?
Lead.
Mr. Singh?
Here.
Mr. Wolf?
Present.
Mr. Zak?
Here.
Mr. Epstein?
Delayed.
Mr. White?
Present. All right, tonight we have a fabulous workshop. We have Mr. Jeff Hayes here with a couple of roundabout students and a high school student, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and they're going to do a little performance for us.
Okay. Everybody in the room knows who I am. My name is Jeff Haynes. It was about 7 years ago, longer than that actually, when I started working in the district with all the fifth graders, working with their curriculum with the Underground Railroad and slavery. And so I haven't been doing it for about 6 years. I'm missing Miss Gaston here, who worked hard to get me back in the system. And so I want to give thanks to Kenya, who's not sitting here. I want to give thanks to Mr. Wright for working diligently, Mr. Landau for working hard to get me back in the system and working with these students. I want to thank Mr. Solstice, and all the teachers, Mr. Castaldi and Mrs. Cipher. I want to give great thanks, and I want to thank all the parents for supporting these beautiful kids, because this group right here is special, all right? That's why they're sitting here with me. And I want to show the board just the kind of talent that we have in this system. The average age here is 12 and 13 years of age. So the kind of maturity and intellect that they have inside of them is nothing but remarkable to me, all right? There's another young man up here that's from right here in this high school. I'm working with him in my recording studio. They begged me the other night to just stay and watch this. I mean, it was about maybe 4 weeks ago. They begged me to come watch this young man play, and I went to see him. I don't want to say too much about him. I want this young man to remain humble. But anyway, let me introduce my family here. This is Damon Angelo. I had to get it right because he was like, "What you doing, man?" When I first moved to Beacon, I used to go to his grandfather's restaurant called Papa Joe's right here in Beacon, and that was amazing. He's just an amazing cook. All right, my other remarkable student here is Leanne Simon, okay? And then we got George Humphreys behind me, all right? Nathaniel Ramos, Shepard Rogers, and Selah Walton, all right? And they're all really, really, oh, and Gia Moraes. I'm having a senior moment, y'all. I got my AARP card. All right, so anyway, what we're doing, I believe that their curriculum now, it's got switched from the 5th grade to the 7th grade. So they're now doing the Civil War and slavery. All right, so I want you to really listen to the words that these children have written, and it's really nothing short, like I said before, remarkable. Family, let's drop some knowledge on these good people, okay? Let's knowledge them. All right, my first spoken word artist is Gia Moreno. Listen, everybody else is gonna take the mic out and stand, okay?
I am but a slave to the misery bestowed upon me. I'm afraid to call you out for it. The very time I had gotten worse. I suppose now I see betrayal at its purest. I am but a slave. I am enslaved by my blinding lust for company that I won't let go of the pain of the boasts you shower me in. The murmurs and whimpers I shed are left unheard, you see, yet I am at fault. Always me, indirectly, you had said once before. I try so hard to ignore my sorrow, my pain, but you have me in chains. The clinging noise taunts me as you smile like it's nothing. Now nothing but ire runs through my veins, pure rage and desire. But I decided to stay silent for your sake. I had grown blind to this once again. Sadly, once again, by a merciless slaver that isn't time this time. Though apparently indirectly it's me. Though you stood me in a horrid place, like a doll in these chains I cannot move. And a simple line or rhyme cannot describe this pain. Stacks upon stacks of writing, all unsent to your name, written in my crimson blood. I am but a slave to her. I endure all the pain from her desires. However, one day I'll break free from these chains she's tied me ever so tightly in. And I'll take my own thoughts back to answer on my own, like whether or not I should even see today's morning sun. But for now, shower me in heat. Erica, bring Erica flowers to my door, and do not look at me with pity. I have made this choice to be a slave to love.
My next spoken word artist, Leanne Simon. Let's take it out, okay? Have fun.
I cannot force my political, religious, or spiritual agendas on you, and I do not wish to, because to you and to everyone else, it's biased. I can share the truth, though. Everyone has been enslaved. You can see if you go far enough in the history of our translucent world. But why? Because of the human nature to oppress, to treat other human beings as if they were something less. The reason why the civil rights movement took so long to happen because slaves taught their children to stay quiet, to keep their mouths closed. Closed mouths do not get what they need. The cycle of fallacy kept on going because oppressors taught their children their ways and they didn't know any better. They learned to hate, to belittle. It takes someone to penetrate that cycle for it to stop. Hatred is a learned behavior, accumulated and gated inside, a force powerful enough to keep a whole generation silent, fearful, timid, and apprehensive. People say silence is a great source of strength. But what strength does it give? So I kindly disagree. The oppressors went lengths to halt the communication of slaves because they knew the consequence of keeping them together. Their chains would be lifted, and they wouldn't have any power anymore. An open mouth can lift their own chains, move their own personal boundaries. Because the only source of knowledge is experience. Power is gained by sharing knowledge. And that's why their stories will always be known. They had the integrity to fight for acceptance, with equality, with open hearts, not fists.
What do you think, family? Right? All right, my next spoken word artist is George Humphreys.
The wind whistled through the branches of the snow-covered trees as I ran. The bitter, unceasing wind tore at my bare skin, and the icy snow lacerated my feet. A clump of ice fell on my head, and I saw stars. But I was almost there. I had to go on. I looked behind me, but all I could see was the trail of red snow left by my bleeding feet. The woods broke around me as I stepped into a field. I knew I was still in danger, but mentally, yes, I was free.
Daniel Ramos.
Working all day and night, even too weak just to put up a fight. Living a life without any meaning. Make just one mistake, and you get a good beating. They'll boss you around, tell you just what to do. They can eat all they want, but there's nothing for you. People say slavery happened a long time ago, but there's still forms of slavery happening though. Just because we're no longer owned by each other, doesn't mean each life is as equal as another's. Certain groups still think they're the dominant race just because of a color, or a look, or a face. Slavery will always happen, I don't doubt it, unless we get up and do something about it. There's so much we can do, but some are not even moving. We know everyone is equal, now it has to be proven. Getting told what to do, getting brought to tears, living a life with just too many fears. If you don't love life, then you're not really living. And to everyone, the same chances should be given. People have questioned the end since it started. We must work towards that end, and we must do it open-hearted.
I just want to let everybody in the room know, let some of the parents know that this group will be coming to my recording studio, and we will be documenting this into a CD. So this is really something special because I so believe in them. I think they're amazing. And I applaud them. My last spoken word artist, she getting ready to drop some knowledge on y'all. All right? This is Selah Walton. Mama Walton sitting right over there, principal of Forrestal. Oh, she need her phone. Oh, can you record it with yours? Mm-hmm. Cool. I hope you didn't take her battery out. You almost ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I can take it out.
Yeah, you can take it out. Let us hit it for a second.
I've been taught the sound of the drum. The vibrations are soon to come. The scents and tones are more than just a sound. They're really a story waiting to be found. They tell me slavery and segregation is gone. Man, I'm tired of hearing this because it's been going on for too long. If that's true, why's our purse clutched? Because I've been raised that no other's belongings shouldn't dare be touched. so why would I take hers? But that's the world we live in. It's a scary place. But when I deal with it in school, it's just disgrace. Closed mouths don't get fed. That's what my dad taught me. And that's how it should be. But when I open my mouth, they don't know what to say. So they hit me with, "Are you okay?" As if I'm crazy and out of my mind. But they know I'm perfectly fine. I guess they just pleasure themselves shutting down this beautiful, intelligent black girl. The stuff they say just puts me in a whirl. They know at the end of the day I got the crown, so they shoot me down with calm down. No offense, but I take that offensively, cause it's as if I'm crazy and out of my mind. Now this is a phrase used for an animal, or a child that doesn't have honors, or a child that doesn't have class, or a child that doesn't have home training. And that's not me. This phrase will now be a phrase never used for Sila Margarita Awards, because I have been taught the sound of the drum.
Y'all ready? Go. Go. All this in 1 week with me. All right, so I'm really proud of all our students because they all did a great job. So this is just a little example of what we were able to accomplish at Rombauer Middle School.
We thank you, Mr. H.
Oh, you are so welcome, parent. You are so welcome. Thank you. Thank you, parents, for supporting these kids. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, principals. Thank you, superintendents, and anybody that had anything. Oh, Kenya, I love you. Glad you got here. I heard about your mishap. I'm really sorry about that. But I really need to give Ms. Gaston a lot of thanks because, you know, she really was the vehicle in getting me back in the school here.
I just want you to know that this guy is phenomenal, and you know I know he probably would get upset with me, but you would not know that he injured himself over the weekend, and so his shoulder wasn't doing too well. And so, you know, at church we prayed for him, but I said to him that you become the drum. So when the drum is before you, if the task is to use it to get your message across, you will be able to do that. So I'm always blessed in your presence. So I thank you.
Well, thank you. Everybody prayed over me Sunday. And for some reason, that really, I'm not trying to have a testimony up in here. but I'm not kidding. I woke up this morning like, wait a minute, man. I got a little swerve in my head. So I'm going to try to get everything out of here real quick so you guys can get on with your meeting. I'm glad you got here safely. Thank you. Thank you for having us. Oh, without doubt. Let's stand up, y'all.
Everything I have is sitting down or one person standing.
George, get the picture, man. Come on, y'all. And what about you, David?
I'm pretty tall. So.
Well, you can stand in the back since you.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to. It's okay. Get in there, Gia. Thank you. So I believe it'll be on YouTube, so you can check out the rest of the game. Sure. Thank you. Let's get these. You guys get the drums out there.
I'm not sure.
All right, I just need a motion to adjourn to executive session to review the employment history of particular individuals.
So moved. Second.
Bill, Anthony, second. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 9-0. We'll be back as soon as possible.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for your patience. We do have an item that we want to add on to the agenda. It will be 6.01, and Kelly, I called it resolution number 041618A. Ken, you want to read that?
Resolved that Vanessa DeFons, certified as school administrator / supervisor, permanent and school district administrator, permanent, is hereby appointed to serve as the acting principal assigned to the Beacon High School, effective May 1st, 2018 through no later than June 30th, 2018 at a per diem rate of $450.
Does anybody have any other items that they feel should be addressed?
I think a moment of silence in recognition of the passing of a significant person would be in order.
Sure. I need a motion to add an item to the agenda for recognition of
Frank Scartato.
It's
Assemblyman Frank Scartato.
So moved.
Second.
Meredith, Anthony. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 9-0. Craig, did you want to fill us in? I think that you'd be most knowledgeable to fill us in a little bit about Frank.
Frank Scartato's passed away this weekend, and he was our sitting assemblyman representing the city of Beacon, Poughkeepsie, and a number of communities across the river. And it is a loss, of course, when it happens so suddenly. In terms of his age, it's much too soon for a passing. But I think Frank deserves some recognition because he was a pretty consistent and steady supporter of public education. And not everybody is in Albany. And Frank was one of the people who cared. Last time I saw him was when he went on the tour of the Camp Beacon facility for purposes of economic development. And he said he thought this would make a nice educational facility. So schools are very much in Frank's mind, along with many other things. He cared about almost everything that you could name.
So I just wanted to answer that. So also Assemblyman Scartato also was a great supporter of Beacon High School. So here we did the Martin Luther King essay writing contest. For the last 2 years, Steve Gold would come and represent for him, but Assemblyman Scartato has come here. So to him, his family, I sent my deepest sympathy. But great supporter of the school and the students.
He was very supportive of Beacon in general, and he came last year for the Foundation Aid demonstration, and he was always very, very clear about his priorities, which you can't say about all politicians, so it was a real loss.
Yeah, he was very approachable. I mean, his office is also trying to help us unlock the speed of molasses that's going on with the smart bond approval. So, he's always been open to listening to our concerns.
All right, please rise then. Thank Thank you. All right, I need a motion to waive agenda items 4.02 through 4.09.
Motion.
Second.
I need a second. Kristen? Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 9-0. I need a motion to adopt the proposed budget for the 18-19 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions?
I had a comment. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the efforts that Dr. Landau and Emery and the whole team obviously put into this. You know, we talked for many years about looking out beyond next year, 3 to 5 years, and that's clearly come across with some of the presentations where it's you know, where are we going? What's the vision? What's the view? And even pulling some things up like the one-on-one computers, you know, saying, hey, that's not really the right thing. We need to accelerate this. A lot of the concerns that, you know, that I had, they really listened to and really worked hard to that. You know, it's nice that we're going to address the PE, the physical education requirements, and so a lot of work and efforts, increasing curriculum went into this budget. So it's really, I'm very impressed with the job, and you know, I'm very happy with the work you did, and look forward to it in the future too, because we're just growing from here.
Yeah.
And I would like to comment on that comment because Mike has consistently held us to a very high standard, to the chagrin sometimes, I think, of anyone who's had to present in front of him, but, you know, or he looks through every budget, he looks through every line item, he's very careful, and I think that there's no greater compliment than Mike saying that he feels like this is really well thought out and achieving a lot of, you know, achieving a certain standard. I agree. It's been, Dr. Landau's come to the different schools and said that the budget reflects your values, and I feel like our values right now are, you know, towards broadening opportunities, creating consistency, getting, having kids have access to more tools, and improving and increasing the quality of our staff. And those are, I think that those are great investments because they'll pay dividends exponentially.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I like that good sentiment. I mean, thank you to the team for a lot of hard work, and that thank you for also putting the context. This is incremental progress. You know, there's more to come.
And I just wanted to add that I think that the way that you did the budget tours early on, trying to engage the community in that conversation, was really successful, and I think it will continue to grow. I don't think people are necessarily used to being asked or given the room to put in their opinions. So I think that that's a great part of the budget process that we definitely want to keep and expand on.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I observed a good deal of sort of surgical work on the budget there, and I'm glad to see that we are able to have a modest increase in taxes. I never expect to be given a gift of no increase or decrease. I'm always happy to see that it's keeping up with where we need to go. And I also am pleased to see that there is some thought being given in the presentations to the longer range planning. We do need to do some more work in that area as a district and as a board, from what I read in the rule books from state ed, and I think we've got to start on that. And I hope that we start putting this on our agenda to have more discussions about where we would like to go and how we will chart a path to get there. I don't think it's all up to the administration, and I do commend the team for getting a very good start on that. And I was quite pleased to see the direction. And I think that we probably should be talking about where we put these things in the course of the year. So, for example, looking at our goals again, do we need to review those, update them? But
don't steal my
business.
thunder, Craig.
What's that?
I go
And the
last, but
steps.
don't steal my
That's
thunder.
Steal your thunder. So, but tonight's discussion is about the budget, so I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Any other comments? I'd like to also commend Anne Marie and Matt for staying underneath the tax levy, listening to the board. I think the intricate part this year were the board goals that we developed. They adhered to that when developing the budget. It definitely helped in that process. I think that it's going to be a challenge to come up with different goals in the same area, and I'd like to challenge the board when we get to that point to come up with them, be creative, but have them be measurable as well. It goes to, right, so Matt's the CEO, Anne Marie's the CFO, right, and so we have to outline what we want as a community from what we hear, and we did that, and so the board's to be commended to give them the direction as to where to go with the budget, and the public for speaking up to us. So they adhered to what the community was hearing through our voices. So that goes to what we did as a board as well. And don't let that get lost.
All right.
You know, and it's hard to pat ourselves on the back sometimes, but we really did. This was the first year that we went into a full school year having board goals, right? So now we need to start looking at, okay, what's the vision going to look like so we could get that 5-year plan and come up with that vision and that longer term planning, right? So that's something that we started before Dr. Landau came on, and it kind of went on hiatus, and we said, okay, let's get the goals first. So we did that because that was something that we could do quicker and give some direction. Now we need to start going back to what's the vision going to be, right? And so then we could develop goals based on that vision for that longer term planning. So it will just help our leadership assist the students in a better way. So good job. You guys well deserve it. Noah, anything about the budget?
Well, I can just say that it's definitely been a fun experience. It wasn't as these presentations were definitely informative, and I know that these students are going to really appreciate all the changes coming. They might not understand what's coming, but they'll definitely appreciate what's on the horizon and what's going to come.
Yeah, so basically what was said. To an extent, we probably won't maybe experience all these changes, but I know that for the years to come, that Beacon will excel and do well with all these changes. So thank you guys for working hard at this.
Well, thank you guys, because you guys don't realize the power you have, because you have direct access to us and you're telling us what students want, and we really do value what the students are thinking. So you guys sharing input with ourselves and the superintendent and deputy superintendent and assistant superintendent of curriculum and the director of curriculum, you know, that really helps us because we want to hear what the students have, and you guys sharing what you did in this short time that you've been on the board totally helps us. So good job.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Roll call, Kelly?
Ms. Flynn? Yes. Ms. Hewer?
Yes.
Ms. Patchen?
Yes.
Mr. Rakowski?
Yes.
Mr. Sang?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Zopp?
Yes.
Mrs. Gadsden?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
That's 9-0.
All right. Celebrate. Good job. All right. Kelly, did we call this 6.01 correct? Did I fit that in correctly for the addendum?
Yes.
All right, so 6.01, resolution 041618A. I need a motion to accept.
Motion.
Anthony, second Kenya. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 9-0. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Georgia.
Second.
Kenya, you beat you.
I give it to Mike. He gave me a text.
She's giving the second to you, Mike.
Thank you. That's because he brought it before.
And it moves. I'm
Comments or
excited.
questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 9-0, and it is 7:57.